These are the directions for the Vietnam simulation student grading. The class is scored on the time it takes to get to the My Lai village as well as the amount of casualties. So what that means is we are going to be starting right here at the landing zone, the gymnasium, and you're going to walk. Every time you see a star, you have to do a scroll to the road, following the correct procedures. At this point, the platoon leader needs to make a decision about getting one squad into a single file line, a second squad into a wedge, and a third squad into a wedge. At this point, you will walk in this direction, go to the circle, complete a range card. Once the range card is filled out, scroll to the road, and then proceed through the My Lai village. As you're doing this, you need to keep an eye out for 10 items that are listed here. It is up to the leader to let the teacher know that they have identified the cup. You will also have to look for the X's that are going to be on the floor, on the ground. So if this is the way the casualties are going to be determined, it's just going to be a tick mark for every violation. So we're looking to see if the formations, if the wedge is filed, the single file. If you're scrolling to the road correctly, your distance and the procedure, all of the soldiers are in the same location. Every time somebody is out of the wedge, out of the single file, that will count as a casualty. So at this point, they have 3. Soldier awareness. This basically means as you're walking through this wedge, if this student doesn't know what they're doing, or maybe the wedge looks like this, that is a problem. That will lead to a soldier lack of awareness, which will be yet another deduction in this category. Leader awareness is going to be looking at the decisions that the leader is making. Booby traps, as I've indicated before, you are going to have the X's on the ground, as well as other obstacles. If these are ignored, that will count as yet another casualty. As you know, you'll be walking and there will be potential enemies, the teacher, and other students. And if you are not engaging these enemy correctly, that will be a problem. For example, if this individual engages the people here, we know that these folks need to stop, take a knee, and then it is the job of these individuals to run up, create a line facing the direction of the enemy. If this is not followed, that will count as a deduction. As for the leader can make some of these decisions, defusing the bomb, calling a napalm, and so on. That's where this is. As I said, you do have to make it within a certain time. So every time you see a booby trap, if you are going to disarm the booby trap, that will take 10 minutes. You can ignore the booby trap. That may lead to a casualty. So you have a dilemma as the leader. If you make a decision to drop napalm, let's just say you're walking and you know that you see this visible enemy, you can stop and decide, you know what, we are not going to proceed further until we drop napalm, which will be a bombing of this area. However, that takes 20 minutes. If you are walking and this individual, these 3 are wounded, you can make a decision to leave these 3 or to call in a helicopter to pick the dead up or the wounded. This would mean an additional 20 minutes. Tunnel search. If you see a tunnel, you can make the decision again to ignore, which could lead to casualties, or you can make the decision to send in a tunnel rat, which would take you an hour, and that could lead to a loss of casualties. So you have to make a decision regarding time versus loss of life. And this section here just kind of gives you, again, the leader's responsibility. The leader is going to have to make these decisions dealing with booby traps, defusing bombs, utilizing the medic, and so on. So, what that means is, as we are walking, the leader is going to have to make these decisions. So, this squad has a leader, this squad has a leader, as does this, and everybody is led by a platoon leader represented here. So, this PL, platoon leader, is the one who is going to have to make a lot of the decisions. Somebody's injured over here, send the medic. You might have to send a medic from this section into this section. For the most part, we're going to be walking, seeing if we maintain those formations and if we can make it to the My Lai village within a certain amount of time. If your class makes it within 1 hour, but yet you have additions for like use of helicopter or napalm, that could add an additional 4 hours. And of course, we will not be out there for 4 hours. It just will be an addition. And that is based on the time requirements that are here. So this is a sheet that will be used for each class. In each class, you want to have the least amount of casualties. So if block 1 has 81 casualties and block 2 has 60, then that means that this group winds up winning. However, they may have made it in less time. So that could also be factored in. That's how you will be scored. Good luck on your mission.